Howdy, y'all. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Can you hear me now? How you doing tonight? It's good to see you folks. Hang on for just a second here. Anyway, thank you for being here. Linda, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for being here. We're going to wait a few minutes and wait for a few people to join us. Um, I have a few suggestions tonight. A few suggestions. And we'll start with where to go, where to go, where to go. Already lost it. Sorry. Anyway, it's been a very busy week for me, but there it is, there it is, there it is. Went right past it. Anyway, there's been I've been trying to tell people for years um about the world around us and how they keep us locked in. I didn't start figuring it out until about 2002, 2003. Things started open. I started seeing it because I stopped watching broadcast television. I just cut myself off completely, and then I started studying things like uh, uh, psychology and body language. Hello, Jenny. It's good to see you. Good to see you both. Anyway, in my studies, I started seeing patterns, and I've told you all this before. I'm trying to show you these patterns. And a way to see those patterns, a good person to help you see those patterns. I've put part of it into the description below. Um, let's see here. Yeah, Ironclad. I'm talking about Chase Hughes. Chase Hughes can help you pull the wool over your eye, pull the wool from your eyes, help you see things for what they really are. There's I spent a lot of time on the streets of big cities. Hold on a second here. My dog is trying to get involved in the conversation again. Hello, Jugglasses. It's good to see you. Wow. So we've got all kinds of weird things going on. It's great to see you all here. Anyway, we had back in the day, in the big cities, there was always a street hustle going on. You could find it at almost any bus stop, right? And and the game was called Three Card Monte. It was more of a sleight of hand than it was a street hustle, which made it a street hustle. Hey, Lenny, it's good to see you. Good to see you, cousin. Anyway, yeah, I'm still doing the research on that one too, by the way. Anyway, Chase Hughes will help you understand the psychology involved that helps you understand how they're using your fears against you. Um, there have been a couple of world leaders over the last, say, several millennia that have said that the only thing to fear is fear itself. Uh, FDR said that when we were going through a major depression. The United States was losing it. Anyway, the point I'm making here is they use that fear. I don't know if you've noticed, but for the last 2 weeks, we've been having congressional hearings and Senate hearings on the black budgets, like the CIA's programs such as MK Ultra. They use what's learned in these programs on you, on all of us. Hello, U-Haul. It's good to see you, bud. Jugglasses, always great to see you. Anyway, guys, most of the videos I'd like to suggest are in the description below. I want y'all to have a good look at it. Chase on Ironclad, Chase Hughes explains why they use our fears and how they use our fear against us and how it keeps us all under our thumb. Now, I've been telling people for years how this works and what the dynamics are. And the best way I've ever heard anybody, just a regular street person, just another personality from YouTube, to put it, the most articulate way I've ever heard it put was by Brian Young of The Disturbing Illusion. I think he's done it the best. It's not just more, it's more than just rights, Douglasses. It's in what you buy and how you buy. Let me give you an example. In 1941, Henry Ford built a car entirely from hemp products, hemp plastic for body panels, hemp plastics for frame. It ran on hemp oil. But Big Oil kept him from marketing it. It's the same thing that kept paper from being made from hemp. And I'm only using hemp as an example. There are things in our world that they keep from us just to keep the robber barons, for want of another word, in power. So, I mean, these videos that I keep bringing up and explaining to you how it's all about, here's another, it's all about how they control us. They bring up a manufactured crisis, something to frighten us, another reason for a war. They say if you repeat a lie often enough, that lie becomes truth. That lie will become truth. And they do it to us every day. Look at the program like I just mentioned, MK Ultra. That's all a part of the ads that you be surfing the internet and you get focused ads on something that you might have been just speaking of, and then all of a sudden you're getting ads for it. It's kind of obvious that those ads are focused to you, and your thoughts and actions can be predicted. We're in the middle of a surveillance state. The flock cameras, the flock issue, that Palantir, all of these are just the tip of the iceberg. So you want to go on to, let's see, there's a book, one book. Now I watched this video last year, and it's by a group called The Grimm. And he talks in this 5-minute video. Yeah, it's exactly 5 minutes long. In this 5-minute video, he talks about the most dangerous book in the world. But he mentions more than one book. So it's in the description box below. Please watch it. It won't take much time. But the information he gives you to look into does take a little bit of time. And y'all know how much of a fan of Whitney Webb I am. I always try to listen to what this young lady has to say. She lives outside the U.S. She's looking inside. She sees things. She sees things that we on the inside don't normally get to see. She's living outside the U.S. because of her journalism, her activism. She has a family to protect. I get it. It's why a lot of people are leaving our country, because speaking truth to power is a scary thing sometimes. Now, I've already mentioned the CIA once or twice tonight. Another one that I put down in the description box below is John Carrico in an interview on the Julian Dory Daily. It's a podcast he interviews controversial people on a regular basis. But this guy is a former CIA operative, and he talks about MK Ultra and a few other CIA programs like Operation Paperclip, how they control our consumption, our information. They control what we see, what we hear, what we consume. Everything about our world is controlled by these, what I've called robber barons. A lot of it comes right out of the playbook of Rockefeller. You study more about Rockefeller, you understand it. But there are other people that have also taken Rockefeller's lead, like Bill Gates is an example, and the Koch brothers. There's another channel called Dangerously Informed with Evie. This young lady has tracked down the information, all the information you need to understand about dark money, how these people, these rich people, use money to influence who gets into office. Our votes don't really count. We might want to think they do, but they don't, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But all of this comes together for a reason. And this particular video, Dangerously Informed with Evie, Evie's team found a lot of good information. There's also another good channel that I can think of right off the top of my head that I haven't put in here. Johnny Harris, I've mentioned his channel before. He's talking about the Iran war. And then, of course, we all are feeling the pinch of a drought, a very serious drought. Wells are going dry, but nobody has thought to think of where this is costing us. Exactly. They don't like people like me either, cousin. They're just that way. Anyway, and well, when we give control, there's a song, an Alan Parsons Project song. I found it on their greatest hits album, but it's probably been out long before that. On one of their greatest hits albums, it's called "Turn It Up," and if you found something worth believing in, then the message must get through. Just turn it up. Don't sit on the fence. Turn it up. Anyway, these people, these stories I keep bringing to you folks, I really wish you would take the time. The reason I do this is so that you can do this in your own time. Now, everybody's familiar with Erin Brockovich, right? Well, Erin Brockovich is her newest, what shall we call it? She's she's a civil rights and environmental activist that they made a movie of with Julia Roberts and Aaron Eckhart and a few other very well-known names today. But we all remember the movie Erin Brockovich. Well, Erin's still in the game. She's visiting with a former Navy SEAL and CIA operative by the name of Sean Ryan, who does his own YouTube show every week. And she explains how they can't handle the truth of what it costs us to have these data centers for artificial intelligence. These data centers are costing us our drinking water. They're costing us our generating power from that water. The energy it costs to run an AI data center, we all bear the cost for it in ways that we can't even begin to scratch the surface. The damage that's being done by it, the damage to our environment, the damage to our drinking water, the damage to our sanitary systems, our power system, our power grid can only handle so much. The reason they need so much water is to cool this. Cool what? To cool these semiconductors. These semiconductors run on what? Electricity. That electricity is generated with the motion of that water. They have to keep generators running all the time for backup. It's a vicious circle. They don't tell you all of it, but Erin Brockovich will tell you the whole story. I think it's very important that we understand all of these stories that I brought to you today, because these stories, excuse me for about a half a second here. These stories are very important. I try to make sure I stay as well informed as I possibly can without being misled. I always try to verify. That's why I bring these stories to you, because I take the time to verify these stories before I bring them to you. Guys, I'm going to keep this short. My long-haired chihuahua is being a pain in the butt tonight. He keeps dancing around down here. That's why the camera's off and the microphone keeps going quiet. I love y'all. Please stay safe out there. Be kind to one another. Always, always, always do your own research. Don't let them don't let them mislead you. It's so easy. Y'all have a good night, and I will see you again next week.